Jesus of Nazareth is the most famous figure in human history, yet the exact date of his execution has long been treated as a lost mystery. Because ancient texts didn't use our modern calendar system, his death has been viewed for centuries as a matter of faith rather than hard historical data. However, secular Roman and Jewish records, from historians like Tacitus and Josephus, confirm he was executed on the orders of the Roman prefect Pontius Pilate. We know from Roman administrative records that Pilate's rule over Judea spanned from AD 26 to AD 36, leaving historians with a massive 10-year window. By cross-referencing these ancient accounts with modern astrophysics, we can narrow that vague decade down to a single afternoon. To begin the elimination process, we start with the Roman regnal records found in the Gospel of Luke. Luke explicitly dates the start of Jesus' public ministry to the 15th year of Tiberius Caesar. In the Roman system, the 15th year of Tiberius translates to approximately AD 29. The Gospel of John records 3 separate Passovers occurring during Jesus' subsequent ministry, which requires a span of at least 2 to 3 years. If his ministry began in AD 29 and lasted for 3 years, the early part of Pilate's prefecture, the years between AD 26 and 29, can no longer be considered. This first textual filter pushes our chronological window strictly into the early AD 30s. We can now apply a second, much more precise filter to our timeline, the uncompromising orbital mechanics of the ancient Jewish lunisolar calendar. The biblical accounts are uniform on 2 constraints. Jesus died on a Friday, on the day of preparation for the Passover festival. This is how the Hebrew calendar functions. Passover always begins on Nisan 14, a date determined by the sighting of a new moon crescent. This means Nisan 14 is always a full moon. Solving this ancient calendar requires modern astrophysics, using orbital physics to retrocalculate exactly when those full moons occurred over Jerusalem. Running the astronomical clock backward, we scan for years where the full moon fell on a Friday. The math eliminates AD 31 and 32, leaving only 2 candidates satisfying the Friday requirement, April 7, AD 30, and April 3, AD 33. Science has successfully collapsed a 10-year window into 2 specific Friday afternoons. To choose between AD 30 and AD 33, historians look for details in the political and environmental record. Secular sources describe Pontius Pilate as a brutal leader, yet during the trial of Jesus, he displayed uncharacteristic weakness and caved to the local crowd. This shift is explained by a geopolitical event in AD 31, the execution of Pilate's powerful protector in Rome, Lucius Sejanus, killed for treason. By AD 33, Pilate was politically isolated and terrified of being reported, a context that perfectly fits the description of his hesitant behavior at the trial. There is also a final atmospheric detail in the Book of Acts, the claim that the moon turned to blood following the execution. Historically, a blood moon is the term for a lunar eclipse, where the Earth's atmosphere scatters sunlight and projects a dark red hue onto the moon's surface. NASA retrocalculations show that a partial lunar eclipse rose over the Jerusalem horizon at moonrise on one specific date, Friday, April 3, AD 33. While AD 30 remains a possibility, the convergence of Roman political instability and the astronomical record makes AD 33 a unique candidate that satisfies both the geopolitical and celestial accounts. Through this methodical process, a vague decade has been reduced to a specific Friday afternoon, April 3, 33 AD. This multidisciplinary approach demonstrates how secular records and hard science can clarify the timing of ancient events. It shows that events often viewed as isolated stories are actually grounded in the physical reality of our universe. The Crucifixion stands as a fixed point in human time, anchored by the shifting tides of Roman power and the measurable clockwork of the solar system.